All right, Reusse Unchained. Patrick, you were at the Wolves last night. I watched it on TV. They won, but that's about all that they did last night.
No, once they found out Luka wasn't going to play sometime in the early afternoon, you texted me that he wasn't going to play when, about 2 o'clock or so we found out, or was it after their
I saw it on
practice?
Twitter at I think 4.
Yeah, so once they found that out, they put it in neutral, man. I mean, they came out and they made every shot, and they were ahead, 14 right off the bat, 16, something like that. But wow. And I think I tweeted out early in the second quarter, Anthony Edwards wants 40 tonight, and he doesn't care how many times he has to throw the ball away to do it. You knew he was in one of those, we're going to win this game and I'm going to get all I can get. And we were, he made shots. I'll say that for him, but he was careless as hell, running over people. They were all running over people. That was the old Cat last night, whining every time. And then I think Finch, did you see Finch challenge that one obvious charge?
No,
when Cat was whining.
Around.
I mean, Cat basically stuck an elbow in a guy's face and got called, and he was whining. And I think Finch challenged it just to show him what an idiot he was, because it took 6 seconds for him to say, "That's a foul." That's a foul on him. That was an old time Woofy performance right there. And I actually got home in time to see quite a bit of the Lakers. And now the Lakers had their post in season tournament slump. But they looked pretty good last night. And you know what they did? They started 5 bigs and no point guard. Our guy D'Lo was on the pine, and LeBron basically was the point guard at 6'9". So I got a hunch that they've decided they. Now I'm not sure. It might have been matchups too, but it seemed to work for them last night. And Anthony Davis had a fabulous game. So anyway, yeah, they're going to be Saturday night. LeBron's 39th birthday is Saturday, and amazing. I was looking up his numbers today. The number of games he's played he's played 3.5 seasons of playoff games, 230 something like that. It's unbelievable how much that guy's played. Most years averaging 38 minutes. It's incredible.
And we'll actually play tomorrow when the Wolves play, because we actually get
the night before, and then he didn't play the back-to-back here. But I don't think anybody can complain about LeBron not playing. The other thing he's done that the old Jordan did it once, but he 2 Olympics at least, right? And then also, I'd have to look it up, and then also a bunch of Team USA World Championship stuff. So he played in the summer for him too. So
yes,
I think he's an admirable character. For some reason, he's not beloved by all fans. I mean, he's not like Jordan. Everybody loved Jordan, but. And I'm not really sure what it is. Maybe it's just a bigger bully. Looks like he's a bully when he plays. I don't know.
Do you think but Twitter too, things like that? Like if Jordan had played when we were tuned into everything about everyone.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder what Jordan, I wonder what I mean, he's still great, but I wonder what the perception is then.
Yes. The fact that the family lived in the Chicago suburbs and he lived downtown at the Ambassador Hotel. Yeah. And he was so shy about that they used to park his Ferrari or wherever it was out in front of the hotel.
Everybody was happy, Pat. It was the 90s. Cared. Everybody got what they wanted.
Nobody cared, It's so, and not like this guy that was always nice to everybody from the media or everything like that either. He just did what he did. They're about the same. They just do what they have to. LeBron does what he has to do, and Jordan did what he has to do. But he played with more flair. LeBron is, in a sense, it's a power game, even when it's not a power play, because it's he muscles his way by you. I was talking to somebody today that. He looked like this in high school. I mean, when he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated at 16 or 17, this was him. He didn't have to go get his muscles when he got to the NBA. He already had them. So
I saw our guy Finch post game last night. I think he's done with the day of pulling punches, huh? Because they won that game and he went after him.
He did. He doesn't, there's no obvious rage or anything in him. So he says, like, both praise and ripping him comes with the same delivery, but he was disgusted last night, and I don't blame him. They 22 turnovers for no reason, and they didn't guard the only way Dallas could stay in the game was making threes, and they didn't guard a three all night. They just let them shoot all the threes they wanted. And Tim Hardaway makes, he had one of those nights when he was making shots. They didn't bother to guard him anyway. It was an awful performance, I thought, but it is also a sign of the times that they end up winning anyway. So, yeah, Rudy actually was pretty good. Rudy was good defensively and rebounded, and he probably gave it more of an effort than anybody else. Who I was surprised last night couldn't rein him in at all was Connolly. They just, Connolly's usually okay, let's settle down here, but he couldn't rein him in last night either. They were just crazy. But 23-7, I guess you can't complain. Huh?
Reusse, Kyle Teige, who's Phil's co-host on Flagrant Howls, he does this tweet kind of trend after every Wolves win. He'll go back and say, compare that Wolves team to how many wins previous Wolves teams had total. This year's Wolves team has already won as many games as the Wolves team from 2 years ago, the first year of the 3 years ago with Ant and Jaden McDaniels, 23 wins. That team already has 23 wins on the season.
Well, when they were 16-4, or no, 17-4, whatever it was, they'd won more games than they'd won in 4 seasons. So I think they had 2 15s and 2 6. I think they had 3 15s and 2 6 and 1 16. So yes, it's I mean it's fun, and the place was jammed again last night, and it'll be jammed Saturday night. And I think people are actually paying. I don't think they're going to Hardee's to get the $1 or Arby's or wherever it is to get the $1 ticket anymore. So
they paid though. The problem is they paid to see the Wolves play Luka. I feel for fans. Can you imagine if you're some dad, right? And you're working 9 to 5, 9 to 6, working your ass off, and Christmas Day under the tree, 2 tickets for you and the kid to go see Luka. Kyrie, I don't care about, but Luka, and you get that last night.
Somebody said to me last night. I said, they're playing like a team that doesn't knows they're going to win because there's no Luka. And the guy says, or Kyrie. And I said, there's never a Kyrie. That's not Game 11 missed with a heel contusion. It better be a heel. It better be a torn Achilles. What a dog he is.
You said it, though. You said it. When Dallas got you, when you acquire Kyrie, you're the dumbass, not Kyrie.
Yeah, you are idiots. Let somebody else pay him $40 million, for God's sake. It's unbelievable. But it was, and I talked to a few people about this last night. I think Jokic obviously is and Giannis, they're both like the whole show, mostly the whole show. But I don't think there's anybody in the league who actually runs the entire game more than Luka. He takes the ball, they throw the ball to him out of bounds, he brings it up, he either shoots or passes. He's it. He's all they got. Luka, chubby old Luka. And he's why the hell he didn't play, I have no idea. Back to back, but what are we saving him for? What are you saving? That's what I don't get. Not playing him back to back. What are you saving him for?
I have no idea.
2 days off. Just geez, it's incredible. I actually talked to Finch last night about before the game, thankfully, after the game about LeBron, and he said one thing I love about the guy is he plays. I think he played the first 12 or 13 this year, and then he missed one, and then they threw the extra game at him, and he missed 2 back-to-backs. But for a 39-year-old with the wear and tear he's got on him, playing 29 out of 32 and averaging 35 minutes a game is pretty good. So
I think he started. I want to say the first 1 or 2 games he was going to be on a minutes restriction.
Yeah,
and they lost, and he went into Darvin Ham and said, "Yeah, this ain't going to work for me," and so he was spiked right back up. But yeah, I feel bad for fans who go to see the Mavericks, right? Because you're not going to see the group they ran out last night. That's not fun.
No, it's and I said that what I did say is they finally can go to watch the Wolves. So at least that all those years where you went to see who the other guys had playing for them. So it was that was a sloppy game, man. Oof.
Jaren Hall gets the start against the Packers. Your thoughts?
Why not? I guess that's my thought. Why not? I mean, the guy's 25 years old. Let's find out. It's not like he's some 20. He's 2.5 years older than Justin Fields, for God's sakes, who's playing his 3rd year with the Bears. So let's see what we got here. Why not? He gets to throw to Jefferson, and the other team doesn't have their best cornerback. He might look pretty good. Who knows? I don't know. I haven't seen enough of him. He's a 5th-round draft choice. Probably age had as much to do with that as talent, huh? I mean, he had a pretty good year at BYU. So I don't know much about him. He's 11 plays of relief after Cousins got hurt. And then 11 plays in the other game. So we really haven't seen much of him. But it is funny how I always remember when we had who were our 2 quarterbacks? Salisbury and Gannon when we had Gino Torretta. Was that it? When was that?
I think that's right. Yeah.
And the Star Tribune had one of those votes, and I think
those old polls.
I don't know. You called. That's right.
You called a number and pushed a button.
Press 1, 2, or 3. At the end of the season, who should be the quarterback next year? Gino Torretta, 91%. Never seen him play except in an exhibition game. 91%.
But do you remember the game? The exhibition game was a game, I think it was in Kansas City, and he came in and led 2 drives and tore it up. And we all were like, oh my God.
Worst Heisman Trophy winner of all time. He's playing with 14 NFLers with the greatest group of athletes ever assembled in Miami. And Miami? Was he Miami? No.
Yeah.
Was he Miami?
No,
yeah,
he was.
Miami.
He was Miami.
And, he could throw a pass to a wide open receiver and hand off, and they give it to one of the other players. It doesn't have to be a quarterback, you stoops. They had 14 guys on that team that were great athletes. But 91% wanted Gino. We always want the other guy, right? Quarterbacks.
Going back to when you pushed a button on the telephone to vote.
Yeah, right. That's right.
And poor Terry Ferris, the secretary in the office, had to field calls and would go absolutely crazy because these guys from the bar would call in at 2 p.m. Get me Torretta.
Terry was great, man. But she kept all those notes. She had to write the notes for Sid, the people thanking them for, as I always said, there were 2. I went through about 400 or 500 of those notes. There was 2 themes. 1, you're the greatest, or 2, you got screwed, or B, you're the greatest, you got screwed, which was the ultimate in when you got the note saying you're the greatest, you got screwed. That was the guy was a genius because there's no 2 things athletes like to hear more than that, right?
Yes.
You're the greatest or you got screwed. So,
absolutely.
And Sid would emphasize that. You mentioned Terry. I ran into her hubby and her brother at the Brainerd races this year. They they go out and drink some beverages. The Terry and her buddies go someplace. The gals go someplace, and these guys go up to Brainerd and relive their youth. They were some characters, man. They were some beauties at the BIR. So anyway,
Hey.
who's going to the main game tonight? We going? Anybody can go watch?
Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm going to miss that. Perhaps if it was go for hockey back in the day when the late Sean Walsh coached Maine, I would go, but no,
Yes.
I'm not going to a basketball game against Maine. Sorry about that.
That
You?
is right. That Sean Walsh did die young, right? Young.
Cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Korea's
Yes.
coach. I mean, he was those
they
Maine
were-
teams were great.
What did they have? 6, 7, 8 years? Didn't we beat them here? Did we beat them here before we played Holy Cross? I mean, before we played Harvard? Was that Maine that the Gophers beat?
I thought they played them here in the Frozen Four after Walsh was coach at the X, right, Dex?
I think
yeah.
they
that
beat
was
them
at
to
the
win
end.
one of the national
Yeah,
titles.
that's
Yeah,
right.
the first one.
It
Yeah.
was a little later. We played them here when we won it. When we won it here, right? When the
Yes.
Gophers won it here. Yeah.
Yes.
And in the final, they beat them in the final, right?
That's what I was going to say. I think they beat him in, if I'm not mistaken, that was the first Lucia title at the X in overtime.
2002. Yes, that's it. That's right. That place was rocking that night, man. They had 18,000 in there.
That was a work.
It was because the Gopher hockey was big then, man. And,
Hey, Pat, last thing, is Mauer going to make it first ballot? I mean, I keep seeing
in the early votes, he's at 80%.
I know.
I hope he does, but then again, I owe the Hall of Fame 900 words within a week if he makes it. I said, sure, I'll do it because I didn't think there was a chance in hell he was going to make it the first time. So I'm going to have to crank out 900 words here in a week if he makes it.
Like a column or just like a overview of his career?
A Joe Mauer feature, not a column. It's
Okay.
Joe. It's for their program.
Oh, okay.
They want it. They must go to print pretty early for that thing because they want it within a week. So
900 words on Joe. That's a lot of words on a guy that said very little.
I won't have to worry about quotes, but I'm really surprised. I didn't get my ballot. I called them. They said they were going to FedEx it to them. I don't know where my ballot was. Never got it. With our mail being as screwed up as it is, because I wanted to vote for him and Tory Hunter. I didn't care about the rest of it, but I want to keep Tory on the ballot for a while. So.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm surprised. It's the leakers. The leakers are, but the leakers are probably a younger set of voters too, right? Wouldn't you guess?
It's all over the map.
But yeah,
but who leaks it? I wonder that. I mean,
leaks it or publishes it.
You're supposed to keep it private, But
no, they just screen if they allow the Hall to release it. A lot of guys and gals now just take a picture and stick it on Twitter.
No, yeah, but the Hall releases it after they announce the Hall of Fame. You're supposed to. I let them. My ballots are released, but not until after the. I think. But yeah, you're right. It's people are. I saw them putting their ballots out there, which, if the BBWAA had any guts, they'd take away your vote, but they won't do it. So, anyway, there's some guy named Thibodeau or something who keeps counting, who keeps calling me, and I keep saying it's none of your business. So, anyway, I'm an old-fashioned. Let's let them. I go back to the years where we didn't. It was only about 7-8 years ago they started putting pressure on you to release your ballot. Somebody for a long time I didn't let them release my ballot just to annoy people.
I'm shocked by that. I'm shocked by the guy who would leak Olympic results as quickly as possible, would try and annoy people.
Primetime preview, baby. But the secret of primetime preview during the taped Olympics was you're talking about some other topic and then you just quickly throw in the results. You don't give them any advance. Yeah. Maybe one reason that show didn't succeed is we like to taunt our listeners. I don't know if that was a good idea or not.
Yeah.
I don't
bleep the listener and bleep the reader is harder to do in 2024 than it was in 1994.
It certainly is. It certainly is. I went back and read that Gopher column. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't like this ripping apart the young men. They had 3 graphs praising Darius Taylor, and I've been worse, way worse.
I think the disclaimer about you being appreciative of not being sent, I think that started it off on the wrong foot for all those schleps that actually tried to go to Detroit or went.
Yes, that's true. What? I wonder did they get 10,000 there? It sounded like the crowd wasn't as empty as it has been some other times. They were saying that there were more people there than they thought, so maybe 10,000.
Did you guys see the Pop-Tart Bowl?
No.
Yesterday, Pat?
The Pop-Tart Bowl.
I don't know where it was, but there was a human Pop-Tart the entire game running around, and at the end, they stuck it in a huge toaster, and it came out supposedly the same person. Yeah, as a huge Pop-Tart that they could then just eat on the field. It's incredible. It's like you got to be high to design this stuff now.
I tried to get the Sports Center the other night, and I flipped over, and they were still had some minutes left in the game, and they were eating it wasn't Pop-Tarts, it was something else. They were eating the food product up on the booth to plug whatever the hell it was. God almighty, what a joke. It's who won the pot? They're changing the names of these bowls so fast they can't keep up with them.
I know, and I have no idea who won.
Half the people were demeaning the Lending Tree Bowl, but it wasn't the Lending Tree Bowl anymore. It was the 68 Venturas Bowl or something. You can't keep up with the hokey names. There's so many of these damn things. So.
Absolutely. All right, sir. We'll talk to you Unchained, the extended episode on Monday. Okay, Pat?
All right. I'll be there. See you.
Sounds good. All right. That is, I was going to say wrapping with Reusse, but now it is Reusse Unchained. And that was sponsored by our friends at Livia Weight Control Centers. Look at that guy right there. The guy on the left, the guy on the right, down 40 pounds. Thanks to my friends who right now have an offer on the table. Get your first 3 months for free. So if you're considering, you know what, January 1st is coming, it's time to drop those excess pounds, especially before spring. You're going to get your first 3 months for free. And there's also now an offer of breakthrough weight loss medication options as well. It's this simple. 855-GO-LIVEA, Livia.com. Livia, Livea.com. That is your first step towards weight loss in the new year.
Also, Summit Orthopedics. Go to summitortho.com for any ailments you're dealing with, okay? You got upper body, lower body injuries. Doesn't matter. Our friends at Summit Orthopedics with a ton of locations here in the metro area and also greater Minnesota. Go to summitortho.com to learn more.